Hello there. My name is Richard. The first time you see my channel, I usually review cartoon series, anime series, or something computer random. Today I talk about Transformers Botbots. Yeah, I think I mispronounced that. I'm sorry. This is sort of a new anime series from Netflix based on the Transformers franchise. And this is basically not really connected to Transformers. This is its own spin-off thing. You don't need to connect it. The only closest thing is how the show explains how the robots come back to life is because that sort of Transformers liked that power gave other Transformers to exist, hid it in the mall, and all the animal objects became robots, mini bots, in other words. But I feel fascinating that I was sort of surprised this series was a delight. It's something that I how to describe the show is sort of wholesome but realistic but funny, deep. It's just sort of this weird experimental show that I really enjoy. Of course, this show is funny for a certain extent. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's not really funny. The jokes are kind of flatline sometimes, but all of that is what is one of those. It's sort of a surprise. It's that I think that's the best way to describe it, because this show is just so enjoyable. You love it to sort of explain more what this sort of group of Transformers does, because it all starts with the explaining they come back to life, and each one of them has his own sort of group. They have the tech group, they have the sugar group, they have the people who clean group, you have the food group. Each group has its own cliques in how they have fun. Until one of the members, or specifically Burgerbot, got lost in the sort of lost and found section. He meets a rest of the robots who were basically lost and found objects, who came alive and doesn't realize there actually is a bigger world. And Burgerbot trying to help them to get out of this safe area to meet the rest of the bots so they could be together, their own little cliques. But unfortunately, Burgerbot sort of broke the number one rule, or the only rule of the Transformers law of this mall, that you cannot show yourself to humans, because they were afraid the backlash they've actually found exist. They're afraid what will happen. They don't know what will happen. And basically, that's a simple rule to listen. But during this first episode, Burgerbot sort of needs to show he exists to save another bot. And that itself is sort of noble, but at the same time, you broke the rule, so you're cast out. But luckily, the lost bots, they actually accept him, because these are outsider. We are outsiders. We all unite, do our own thing. But I love it. They was trying to reinstate themselves in their group, because most of them are based on different kind of cliques. There's a sports bot that she wants to go into the sports section with the rest of the robots that she belongs, but they don't accept them. Not just her, many other of the whole members. But I love it. It's a sort of united friend group that don't realize they created their own clique, their own thing they really don't need, but you still have that sort of kind of thing behind their heads, like saying you kind of want to be accepted the other groups, but it's because they're so different and weird, they don't want to accept them because they're not the same as them, even if they're the same race. And that is sort of interesting, kind of sad, but it's sort of hopeful, because every time they try, they fail and they feel so weird, and you don't really care about that because you just like their dynamic, their friendship, their group click, especially Burgerbot, that he wants to be back in the group to tell the rest of his friends, look, it's great to pick your own clique. It really is. You have to keep trying. And he doesn't realize his friend group was sort of assholes. Like, he had his moments, but he sort of mentally blocked that. If certain later on the end of the series, he sort of realized, I really don't need those guys. I have you guys. But I love it. They do more than that. They sort of explore why they're important to each other. In other words, you love it. They explore each character even deeper. Even each character feels sort of a cliche. Like, for example, there's a planter bot that he's just sort of weird, off, but at the same time, sort of go deeper on that, understanding what he is. Another good example is another bot in the group called a plant bot, a Japanese plant. I just don't remember her name right now, but her whole thing is she sort of doesn't really fit in any other groups. She's just especially they own her little thing. She's sort of lonely, but at the same time, you don't have to be lonely. You with us, and that sort of hopefulness. Yeah, you never actually real alone. If you just find someone as alone as you have someone with you, and that is sort of very positive, very charming. It just give you great feelings. Not words, it give you great vibes because this show has its moments to be sort of sad but very hopeful, and that's something I really didn't expect because it's a Transformers. The only thing you expect is sort of drama and violence. That's the Transformers way. That's the fun way to see them blowing up, destroying. Except for this spin-off series that I was just surprised, especially how the animation is good, but they also use sort of photo images that is sort of a no-no in animation community. At the same time, I think you're over exaggerating because sometimes depends how you use that sort of images in your own show to to approve it or not to approve it or cut some budgets that you understand is still on a budget. It still works. It doesn't feel takes anything from this show, but I do enjoy. They have a little mystery like why BurgerBot was sort of abandoned. You don't know why, but I love that they sort of trying to figure out how to go back to it, but not really. Like he's sort of undecisive. Like is someone trying to sabotage my plans to join a group or not? And I love it they do explore just enough to make it interesting, but it also tried completely different things. Now, there is one flaw in this series I have to admit that is only 10 episodes, but I think you just needed 7 because the rest of the 3 episodes were more filler, but once more, it wasn't bad filler. It was still kind of develop the characters and understanding each character's own thing, but each character is a cliche, but they know how to develop. At the very end, do I recommend this? I say yes if you're not a Transformer fan, because this whole show is all about if you're not a Transformer fan, this show we're trying to convince you to become a fan. If you are a Transformer fan, I don't know if you will like this or not, but at the very end, it's still charming, still likable, and this show somehow make things very relatable. Like that sort of moment that it's like life depress you, but you still got your friends and your family. Those kind of moments, like there was a race they actually won, but because they didn't use the car was licensed name based on a different team. That team won, not the lost found bots. So they technically lost because they wasn't their car. But I call that BS. But the sad part, that's how life really is. Little technical things just screw you over for some apparent reason. But you know what? I'm okay with that because at the very end, they still have each other. They still have your back. Even they have no one really likes them. They have each other, and that's good in my books because that's the whole point of the whole series. Yeah, I enjoy it. I enjoy that sort of exploration of the whole cast of what this sort of human culture, what is a human, what's Halloween, what is Christmas. In fact, one episode they do discuss like Halloween was sort of a virus, but it's just Halloween, but the bots don't really understand that. Those are the things that make this series kind of fun and interesting and funny. Not all the time, but they still make it work. I still enjoy it. Now I got one question. Do you like this series? Do you hate it? Tell me down below. Let me know. I really got nothing else to say. Just thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and have a wonderful day. Bye.